Good morning, happy Monday. It's the start of another week. This is week 3 that we haven't been together. So you should now have your packet for weeks 3 and 4. So you either pick that up on Friday or you can pick that up today. You can pick it up this morning at the school from 9 to 11:30 or this afternoon from 2 to 3:30. Flip through that packet. Any questions that you have about anything in there, please reach out to us. If you have math questions, you could message Miss Nitka. Language arts, you can message Miss Amon. And of course, for science and social studies, you can ask me. You can ask any of us any questions really about anything in the packets. You will not turn any of these packets in until we return back to school together. And so that's the little update this morning. Remember, food distributions are on Mondays and Thursdays, and they'll give you enough food for the rest of the week that's being covered. All right, so last Wednesday, I asked you guys to post some questions about the solar system. You did a great job. We're going to get to that today. We're going to get to another short little reading for Women's History Month. Today's the last day we're going to do that. And then today is Monday, March 30th. I have to keep reminding myself that because I keep forgetting what day it is. Today is National Doctors Day. And I think that's really important, especially in everything we're going through in our country right now with the coronavirus. Today is National Doctors Day. It's really important that we say thank you and show appreciation to them. Also, today is also National Virtual Vacation Day. So if I got to pick a virtual vacation to go on, I would want to go to Hawaii. If I could snap my fingers and be anywhere right now, I'd be in Hawaii. So I want you to pause the video and I want you to comment below if you could go on a virtual vacation, if you could go on a vacation anywhere right now, where would you be going on vacation? So pause the video and comment below. Where would you like to go on vacation? I would like to go to Hawaii. And then you could even tell me why. So I'd like to go to Hawaii because they have nice beaches, it's warm, and I would love to be able to swim and see some sea turtles. All right, so March is Women's History Month. Last week I read you a little excerpt from the book about Nancy Pelosi. And so today, before we left, we were talking about the 3 branches of government. We've talked quite a bit about the Supreme Court. We've talked about Thurgood Marshall, and we've talked about the judicial branch and the jobs that they have. And so today, I'm going to read you an excerpt about Sandra Day O'Connor. She was the first female Supreme Court justice. Sandra Day O'Connor. She called herself FWOTSC. It wasn't really a secret code, more of a self-effacing response to the blinding glare of the news media, whose focus on the first woman of the Supreme Court was often overwhelming. In 1981, President Reagan ignited a flurry of attention and excitement when he appointed Sandra Day O'Connor to the highest court in the land. Practically overnight, her mail volume exploded. Thousands of congratulatory letters and cards gushed in. Justice O'Connor was particularly touched by all the notes from women and young girls who had thanked her for demonstrating to the world what women are capable of achieving. Looking back, Justice O'Connor told a reporter, I have to say that selection was a turning point in the history of opportunities for women in the workplace. It opened doors. Her strong belief that it is the duty of a judge to interpret the law, not make the law, has been one of her guiding principles as she hands down decisions. On the Supreme Court, Justice O'Connor can be counted on to vote independently, not aligning herself squarely with the 4 conservative justices or the 4 liberal justices. Because of this, her vote is oftentimes most influential because it becomes the swing vote that can decide the case. Never was this more important and clear than with the case 00949. Bush versus Gore, in which the Supreme Court essentially decided in a 5-4 split the outcome of the 2000 presidential election. Justice O'Connor had been called one of the most significant historical figures of the 21st century. She's also been called the AITAFG, an inspiration to all future generations. So, Sandra Day O'Connor, first female justice on the court. She, in 1981, so it took that long to have a female justice on the court, and that's led the way for Ruth Bader Ginsburg and Sonia Sotomayor and Elena Kagan, who are all on the court now. So there's actually 3 women that are sitting on the Supreme Court right now, and she led the way. This appointment was a big moment and a big movement in women's history, and it made big changes. And so that's why I wanted to share Sandra Day O'Connor with you today. All right. Now, let's get into a little bit of science. So last week, I asked you to come up with some questions that you had about the solar system. And you guys came up with some good questions. So Rosa asked, what galaxy is closest to the Milky Way? Melissa asked a couple questions. Why is there no oxygen? Why isn't Pluto a planet? How is the sun a star? Miss Ahmad commented, and Miss Ahmad wants to know, how can I easily spot the Big and Little Dipper in the night sky? Lisbeth wants to know, what % of the solar system's mass is the sun? Oscar wants to know, why do we orbit around the sun? And I want to know, how much space does Earth take up in our galaxy? And what about the universe? And so what we'll do is I'm going to answer 2 questions today. I'm going to pick one of the questions for you to answer. You're going to comment below. You're going to do a little research. And then we'll answer the last 2 questions on Wednesday. So before I get to the answers to those questions, I want to show you something. This is NASA's website. So some of us talked about Hidden Figures and the 3 women that during Black History Month, and so they all work for NASA. We know NASA is it's the science group, the organization that works to send astronauts in outer space. They do space studies and different things like that. And so NASA on their website has actually come up with, since so many kids are off from school, a whole part of their website is called NASA at Home. And if you click on NASA at Home, it's going to give you a whole bunch of different links that you could look through. There's ebooks, there's virtual tours, there are, it says for kids and families, there's different games and activities, be a scientist, different videos, and then there's podcasts. This is an awesome website, and there are so many great resources on here. On NASA's Instagram and Facebook pages, they'll often do live streams of when they're sending shuttles and rockets up to the space station. They've done that lately to send supplies up to the space station. And so if you want to check out that website, it's nasa.gov. And once you get on NASA's homepage, there's a whole lot you can check out on there. But especially there is the NASA at Home, which will give you a lot of great resources on there. I just wanted to share that with you. So the 2 questions I'm going to answer today. The first question is, which galaxy is closest to ours? So all the planets that we talked about last week, the galaxy that we live in the Milky Way galaxy. But there are so many other galaxies out in outer space. We don't even know how many. But the one that is closest to us is the Andromeda galaxy. The Andromeda galaxy is the galaxy that is closest to us. And if you want to look that up a little more and find some facts and information about the Andromeda galaxy, you can comment them below as well. Second question we're going to answer today is Miss Ahmad's question. So Miss Ahmad's question is, how can I easily spot the Big and Little Dipper in the night sky? So as I was researching this a little bit, because Miss Ahmad texted me and she said I better answer her question today. So it says the best time to see them in the sky is June. And that we know that's coming up in a couple months is probably, they said that's the best time to see it. But if you go out into your backyard and it says you need to look north, so you need to make sure you know your directions. You look north and then you'll see, it says that you'll see like a cluster of 2 groups of stars. And if you look at the 2 most outer stars, the one will align for the Big Dipper and the other one aligns for the Little Dipper. And if you look at the space between, you pick 2 stars in that dipper, you look at the space between and try to multiply it times 5, and then I'll give you the space between the top and the bottom. And so I'm actually going to post a link below that goes to a video that's going to help you more and give you a better idea of how you can locate them in the night sky. So those are the 2 questions we're answering today. Now, I'm giving you a question off this chart that I want you to post the answer to below. The question I need you to answer is one of Melissa's questions. And Melissa's question was, why is Pluto not a planet? We know in the past, Pluto's been a planet, and then Pluto's not a planet, and then Pluto's a planet again. So I want you to do a little bit of research and find out why Pluto is not a planet anymore. So you need to make sure that you comment that below before our next video, which is on Wednesday. Comment below why Pluto is not a planet anymore. And we will answer the rest of the questions on Wednesday. So remember, you're commenting below if you could go on a virtual vacation anywhere. Where are you going? So that's number 1. Number 2, you're posting below, why is Pluto not a planet anymore? All right, I will see you guys Wednesday right back on our YouTube channel.